So good afternoon again, and I wish all of you the World Environment Day 2020. So every year we celebrate World Environment Day on 5th June 2020, and depending on which year we are in. But this is just that it's a good initiative what Christ University has taken to celebrate this World Environment Day and in collaboration with IEEE. First, let me introduce myself. So, I am volunteering as Joint Treasurer and Site Chair of IEEE Bangalore section. And also, I have other portfolios in IEEE Bangalore section and IEEE Bangalore chapters. I work with Power and Energy Society, Technology Engineering Management Society in Bangalore level, global level, and also a few other volunteer positions. My bread and butter job comes from BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore. I work as institutional coordinator for R&D, where we take care. My office take care of all the R&D activities which is happening in BMS College of Engineering. So apart from that, I also teach in medical electronics department on various medical device development courses, biostatistics, and few others. And I also do a lot of other activities. You can check me on social media. I'm active on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, Twitter, and also I have my own YouTube channel, which I plan to upload this webinar online. So these are few of our recently last month, 28th of April, we celebrated IEEE Site Day. So this was very exciting. We had almost 2,000 people coming together in different events and celebrating this IEEE Site Day. This is right time. I thought that we also celebrate, join hands with Christ University to celebrate IEEE, extended Site Day, I would say, and also about this particular so extended site day, I would say, and also this environment day. So this is our team, a few of the volunteers in Bangalore chapter who are working. So what is this IEEE site we learned today, and also how can you develop a sustainable environment related project also I'll be happy to explain. So what is the site? Site is special interest group on humanitarian technology. So if you have technology with you, how can you implement this for sustainable as a sustainable solution in especially in people in more importantly for the people who are underserved. That is who are deprived with technology. So we are very fortunate. We are sitting in front of a computer listening to this webinar, but not everybody is so fortunate like us. There are many people who doesn't have mobile phones. They don't have internet issues. They don't have proper electricity with them. So this is something of concern which site is trying to solve. So we are building a locally focused community of engineers for global development. So within your campus, within the surrounding of IEEE Bangalore section, within maybe Christ University campus, you are developing volunteers who can come up with sustainable solutions. So special interest group on humanitarian technology is a group of IEEE volunteers who come and solve some of the local problems and collaborate with the local organization to help the underserved community. So what is local organization? It can be the government, local government. It can be local BBMP office or some municipality office, or it can be some NGO or non-government organization which is working to help this underserved community. I'll give you a lot of examples so that you understand about this. So vision and mission of IEEE site is to serve the underserved community, mainly to bring they're bringing the solutions, technology solutions to help the community locally. Mission is through the volunteers. So we have a huge network of volunteers. IEEE Bangalore section alone has nearly 7,000 plus members, and in that almost 1,000 plus members are site group members, Bangalore section site group members. So what do you need to pay to become site member? It's absolutely free. So I would request all of you to become member. How can you become member? Just Google saying join IEEE site, and you will get entire details about it, and you can join it by paying $0, which means that you're not paying anything, and you can become part of this wonderful community. So this were few of the statistics. So in 2017, the members were just 4,000. This is globally I'm talking, not in Bangalore. And 2019, we are almost about 9,000 plus, reaching 10,000. But see the amount of side groups we have. We just had 12 side groups. Bangalore section was initially in that group when it was formed. And then later it began growing. And by end of 2017, they were 31 side groups. So groups like us globally, there are only 31, which is very less number compared to the global statistics. So the other thing which we would like to tell you is about the funding. So IEEE site has a lot of funding opportunities available for all the IEEE members and also site members. The amount goes really huge. So there is up to 134,000 US dollars, which is like really huge amount. And I'll tell you how to apply for this funding and how you can get the funding for your institute or for your site group, which you can form by when I explain you about that process. So IEEE Bangalore section, the site group was started in 2012, though IEEE Bangalore section is very old, 1977 we established. And then we had Karthik Kulkarni, who is the now HAC chair. So HAC is Humanitarian Activity Committee, under that we have IEEE site. And we have done a lot of activities recently. I took up the chair of IEEE site last year in 2019, and I have been doing a lot of activities after that. And we had past chair of IEEE site coming to our one of our event. It has funded various activities, which includes IAM in 2017, All India Congress Students and Professional WIA Congress in 2018. And ComSnet is one of the big conference which happens every year in January. So it was HAC sponsored for ComSnet 2020 Network Track in 2019 as well as 2020. It just concluded in 2020 January. There are many existing student branches in IEEE site student branches. In 2012, Oxford College of Engineering, and again in 2012, NIT Surathkal started, and BEC Bagalkot started in 2014. So after that, there was little lag that there was no one who could take this site route forward. Then in 2018, because I work day in day out in biomedical engineering, a lot of my funded projects are related to biomedical engineering. I thought, why don't we start off with, reinitiate the site group. So in 2019, we did a lot of propel towards lot of activities. And as I said, it's a free membership which is given to all the IEEE. If you are even not an IEEE member, you can become site member for free. And currently, we have almost 10% global members as Bangalore section members in IEEE site. We started 5 student branches in 2019, Sambram Institute of Technology, IIT Meenakshi Institute of Technology in I'm sorry. So we contribute to 10% members globally. And we started 5 student branches, Samram Institute of Technology, IIT Meenakshi in Bangalore, nearby Bangalore, Dayanand Sagar University, Ballari Institute of Technology, and UVC. And also recently Amrita University also got a site group approved. And each site group, when you start, we give up to $250 for you to actually execute the conceptualization of your project into reality. And we also have initiated Bangalore Section Student Innovation Project Fund in 2018. And also in 2019, we started giving some up to 15,000 rupees from Bangalore Section for this particular, any humanitarian related or sustainability related projects. We have coordinated a lot of walk with breakfast with IEEE Fellow. What is IEEE Fellow? It's the senior most position which any individual can gain in IEEE. So we have many fellows, fortunately, in Bangalore section, almost 20-25 out of very small number of fellows which is available globally. So let's understand. I told you there was IEEE ComsNet in January 2019 and January 2020. This was some of the inauguration photos which we did for IEEE site at various student branches. And Bangalore Section Student Innovation Project Fund, we also gave an opportunity for them to come and present their concept in our flagship events. And we also dispersed the money during that time. So these were a few of the projects: Alliance College, PS College of Engineering, Indian Institute of Science, Amrita College, School of Engineering, Leva University, Anand Sagar. They got funding for their projects. Education Subcommittee Competition and Pilot, we were selected as 8 student branches, and Bangalore section also participated in that. And we proposed one of the ideas which was appreciated, and we got our appreciation certificate also for that. Now, having said this, you must have got some flavor about IEEE site, but let me explain the exact statement why this IEEE site exists and why we need to do the project. So IEEE projects is usually done for feet on the ground, which means that we actually dedicatedly work on with the people who are working on the ground, which means that we directly go into the slums, we directly go into the rural area, we talk to the farmers, we form a team, we collaborate with the local community, check what are the local challenges, and give the solution which we have already developed for them. So if you want to start a site group in your college, Christ already has student branch in the Kufe campus in Kengeri. But this same campus can have your own site group. So you should have individual volunteers, maybe around 6 people who are part of this site group of your student community. And also we can have few faculties come together. Usually a faculty will be a lead or chair of the site group. You should have minimum 6 members and sign the online petition. So you have to just go online, go to IEEE site.org. I'll just share the link at the end of my presentation. Click on that and you will get a form where you have to fill some minor details. For example, I've shown you some questions. What is the community you're working, and what is the need for the community which you're trying to work? What is the problem you're trying to address, and what capabilities they have, what capacities they have, how well you are connected to the local NGO or local government so that you can propose. These are few questions which you have to fill around maybe 5 to 6 lines for each question, and then get the signature of local IEEE's Bangalore section chair, and you can upload the proposal. Once you upload it, there is a site steering committee who sits usually a month once, and they will approve the site, or they will get back to you saying there is some things which we have not understood. Can you elaborate it? Can you correct it and send it? Once you send the corrections or some queries, you answer them, you will get it approved. After the approval, you will get your seed money of $250, and you can start, pointing out, solving those problems which you have tried to put in your proposal. Many of them came to us and they said, hey, we are not actually in the university. We are a group of random volunteers from some industry or some other places. Can we also form a site group? Yes, the procedure is same. Only thing is you are not called as university site group. You are just called as independent site group. So for example, IEEE Bangalore section is not affiliated to any university, but we are IEEE Bangalore section site group. We come under IEEE Bangalore section. Similarly, you can form your own site group called by some name, and then you can sign the petition. The rules and regulations are exactly the same as university site. So I'll talk some of the initiatives which we have done in 2020. So we hosted our first IEEE Site Day celebration on 28th April. I said we almost had around 2,000 plus participation for various events. And there is one of this course which I personally recommend all of you to take this course. It's called Humanitarian Technology and Sustainable Development at IEEE curriculum. So they have come up with their own module where there are 5 units of 5 modules. Everything is free, even if you're not IEEE member, you can go and register for this. What are those modules? It's different modules. So I have taken all the certifications of that. And maximum it will take around 2 hours, and also you get your professional development hours units or continuing education units hours, which is very well valid in university, I mean abroad like USA and other places. So basically they start with introduction to sustainable development. What is sustainable development? And they talk about multidisciplinary perspective of humanitarian and sustainable development activities. Then community engagement. Then later they'll give you some examples in each one of them, where they will talk about humanity and technology for sustainable development. And they tell you how you can develop your own sustainable project design concepts when you are trying to do your project. So you can develop how exactly you can do by yourself. So it's called IEEE Sustainable Development Curriculum. I'll share the link maybe end of the session. If you're interested, you can go and register and get certificates for this. As I said, the investment time for each course is around 2 to 3 hours, and you'll have one quiz where you can answer and then get the certificates. We are also hosting this IEEE Connect, which is one of the flagship conference of IEEE Bangalore section. This conference is really amazing because there are multiple tracks, and as IEEE side, we are also hosting a biomedical engineering for humanities track, which is again supported by HAC. So this right now the registration is done, and authors are registering. We almost got 700 plus papers, 300 plus papers were accepted, and online the conference is happening online at the same dates. If you are interested, you can go to the website ieeeconnect.org and you will get to attend most of the sessions for free if you're IEEE member. So you will get discounts. You did not even pay anything, but you can still attend the session. So more details, you keep visiting ieeeconnect.org. You will be getting the details. Very special type of conference. So in 2021, we are hosting Region 10 Humanitarian Technology Conference. But we thought we'll do a precursor event. It's for IEEE Bangalore section Humanitarian Technology Conference, BHTC 2020. It is in Vijaypur. By that, hopefully the COVID subsidized and we'll be able to do the physical event. So it's in October 8 to 10, 2020. Just go to the, these are different sustainable goals. These are logo of BHTC. Each one represents the sustainable development goals in part of our conference. You can submit the papers, and already we have got more than, I'm sure we have got around 100 plus papers for this, and still there is a chance for you to submit papers. Good thing is, if you submit early, the registration fee are very less, unlike any other IEEE conference, because we want to promote more humanitarian technology in IEEE Bangalore section. By the way, IEEE Bangalore section doesn't cover only Bangalore area, but it also covers the entire Karnataka. As I said, we are hosting the Region 10 Humanitarian Technology Conference in 2021. 2020 is in Malaysia, but before that it was in Indonesia, and it rotates all over the Asia Pacific region. And first time it's coming to India, and in Bangalore we are hosting this in 2021. We are yet to decide on dates, but we did this and we have got this. So I'm usually involved in organizing this conference. So what are the various funding opportunities you get if you're part of IEEE Bangalore section site? First thing is, there is something known as site project call. Every year this call is there, and you can apply up to $20,000 of money. What is this $20,000? Is that for the project? So initially, for example, you have got $50 for starting your site group. The next thing is apply for this, you will get $20,000. Deadlines are various deadlines. The next deadline is $17, but right now they have stopped all the funding and they have diverted the complete money to COVID-19. I'll talk about it maybe in my next few slides. Another grant which is there is IEEE Foundation grant. If you are interested, please apply for that. They give up to $5,000 to $100,000. And if you have done very good initiative, this time it's more about educating the public about potential for emerging technologies to improve the quality of life. So this also, the deadline is 3rd July. Still there is time if you're planning to apply for this. Humanitarian Activities Committee projects also, there is, they also fund. Every year there will be 3 different deadlines, but because of COVID-19, they have diverted all the money to COVID-19 funding. This is what I was talking about. There's a special call for COVID-19 project proposal, and the deadline was 15th May. They extended to 1st June. There were many projects which were funded, maximum up to $5,000. Even ITP manufacturing site, I applied and we got around $5,000 funding. Very recent, yesterday we got the approval. And they're very fast. But unfortunately, the deadline has reached, but this is something we should look out for applying for funding. Let's come to the topic. I have few more slides where I want to tell you about what is sustainable community project. So if you see, if you can continuously, anybody for that matter can do some kind of project for community, either for the villagers, for farmers, or for your some slums, or somebody who is underserved with technology. So somebody who is deprived with technology. But the one which is really successful is if it becomes sustainable. You just go for a few days, you implement the project, and then later you don't continue it, it's not okay, right? So you should have someone who can preserve the environment as well as preserve the technology which you have done for many days. So there was one Ecuador section or some other section which actually did some project for grid connection in one remote area where they have to go through boat and then reach that area and then try to implement the grid, solar grid. They did this 7 years back, but after a few days, the entire grid was spoiled. They didn't know how to make it sustainable or self-maintaining concept. Later, after 7 years, again the same set of volunteers went back and the site funded their project, and they were able to revive the entire process basically, so that they can get back their power. So make sure you have adequate resources available for future generations. So today, as rightly said in the opening remarks by your host, so we have a lot of things available, but we are using up everything. But we should make it sustainable so that our future generations will be able to use this. So how did you develop this? There is one wonderful tool known as Community Toolbox. It's free. If you are interested, go and Google about it and try to see how you can use this toolbox. So basically, your problem analysis is identify what you know and identify the gaps. Talk to the people. That's very important. You should always talk to your stakeholders, talk to the local community, local government. They know the problems better than us. And then you can identify the gaps, gather the information, then you define the problem. You will have multiple problems to solve. In that, you should assess which is the priority project which you can solve. And then you'll finalize this is my problem. As I said, you should talk to your local community stakeholders, end users, payers, if there is some NGO is funding, a local government is funding, your college is funding, or IIT is funding, or anyone who is funding, you should talk to them also. There are many examples I'll try to give maybe in another 5 to 10 minutes, which are called as sustainable or environmentally friendly project, which also sustains for longer time and helps our future generation. So upgrading the efficiency of energy using building, these are something not underserved, it's for general people. And adapting and implementing sustainable forestry, fisheries, soil, watershed management, delivery and use of information technology, making it sustainable, especially during this pandemic time. Sustainable tourism activities. So there is a lot of tourism which has gone down recently, but if you remember, there are many places that tourists go and litter around. How can you ensure that they will do that? Recycling and remanufacturing solid and hazardous waste. Use the waste for something good. Accelerated and expanded development of marine and freshwater aquaculture, adding value to fish agriculture and forest products. Developing, manufacturing, and marketing products, services, and technologies that reduce environmental burdens, designing energy efficient and people friendly cities. So, these are some of the examples in general which you can work on. But I'll go specifically in detail which are some of the examples which is done by ITP site globally. Main important thing is using the appropriate technology to appropriate community. Making it sustainable is what we are trying to communicate in this site. So some of the So some of the examples for site which we can talk about is humanitarian technology domain. For example, non-polluting light, heating, and cooking methods. Can you please mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. So non-polluting light, heating, and cooking methods, technologies for clean water and sanitization, off-grid electricity generation. It can be through solar or just ride your bicycle. I'll show you an example. Agriculture technologies, irrigation methods. It can be example. Healthcare technologies, which I work on, is automatic disease detection, rehabilitation technologies, and so on. But please remember, we are targeting the people who are deprived with technology. This is not required for people in urban areas or somebody who has very good technology. So this was one of them which was done in Bangladesh. It's called Targ. What is this Targ? Is this rickshaw completely independent of national grid? They have this solar. So they have this rickshaw, and on the top they have solar panel which is placed. And whenever you try to drive rickshaw, it used to get charged and solar energy was there. So driving was very easy because driving rickshaw, that is three-wheeler, which you see on the picture, is really not so easy. You should be very strong enough to drive that, especially whenever you are traveling in the areas. This was bridges which was done in one of the places where they enabled access to electricity for almost 20 underserved communities in North Atlantic area. So this area which didn't have, which were deprived with such kind of technology were used. Next thing is Madras deep sea artisanal fishers. So this was interesting for, this was also implemented in Hariyar Bangalore section volunteers in Bangalore. They got the site project and site group approved. Madras have this, the sea where their fishermen are there. For them, they wanted to go deep inside and get the fishing. But if they want to do, they did a lot of went in between the sea, use the technology, use the solar grid. You can see the solar grid to actually charge and then use those charge to actually do the fishing and also get some light during night and so on. Animal attack prevention. This was done in one of the village in Andhra Pradesh, where wild boars used to come and destroy their entire crops, which they have, done the agriculture with a lot of difficulty. So what they did was they came up with a laser system, IEEE volunteers, where they could detect the animal. As soon as the animal enters the field, then there was a lot of scare for them by flashing some light with loud alarms, and this was interesting. But it so happened that the alarms and sound and the lights, they were so used to that the boars or the wild boars who used to come, they got adjusted to that. Then next, what the volunteers came up is they did a lot of different kinds of sounds and light patterns, so that the boards get adjusted to that and getting that, oh, this is some technology they are using. So if I go, nothing will happen. So main thing is now they use maybe traditionally a gun or something to shoot, which was really dangerous. So this kind of technology will get. And also SMS was sent to the farmers to check if their field is ready. Mosaic is another one where they use for hill areas to find out moisture, salinity, and temperature to for the farmer to use and then do the water management. LoRaWAN is another project for solar photovoltaic energy. So they use GIS, Global Information System, to find out where the employee is there, where they have installed a lot of solar systems, which is very low cost. Overhead Power Line Safety Awareness Project, OPSAP, is another Hyderabad section initiative. They took the efforts to reduce the number of overhead power line contact injuries because there is the power line which comes on the top. People just, it's very common to see that many houses just a few meters away, they'll have this overhead power line. So to reduce that, they can use the technology. Rehabilitation for sustainable future for Delta farmers. They taught what is farming and how do you get the cash crops which gets them money at that appropriate point of time. Smart classroom among good. So they went to forest, they got the appropriate clearance, they installed solar panels, and they got a smart classroom for education and training purpose for teachers as well as for students. And they had battery inverter which was installed, which helped them essential necessity power requirement. Smart switching toilet was used where disposable of human waste was done very appropriately, especially in flooded region where it was very tough to segregate between the sanitation as well as the toilet and other kind of sanitation. Solar powered electric wheelchair, develop an electric wheelchair for to cover longer distance and lower speed for somebody without help of any grid line. So it can just charge automatically using the solar power, and the wheelchair can move for people who can't really walk for longer distance, or people who can't lower one. This was another project in Edamal, Lakal, one of the villages somewhere in south, and this was used to reduce their electricity consumption by using solar. So you give them solar power, but the energy which is generated may be less. It is not enough for them to run their complete house or factory. So this, they taught them how to do that, and also they taught them how to manage the entire solar grid with less electricity, use less energy. They train them. So with this, I would like to conclude uh, my talk by telling you that please participate in Bangalore United Technology Congress, and a couple of projects I want to tell you. If you are interested, what are the minimum smaller projects which you can do? Go to this Engineering for Change, which has lot of solution and products. Most of them are open source. You can just download it and implement it. And it is more like do it yourself. If you want related to agriculture, solar, or if you want related to any other cooking, um, lighting, electricity, so on and so forth. All of them, there are more than 600 such technologies, which is very important. Try to check this website. Try if you can use this to implement in the local community. Put this as your project for site and tech management. So the last project which I want to tell you is the site project which we recently got. We got around $5,000 to implement this. We created some of the 3D printing technologies. I have that with me. I can show you right now. So these are some of the technologies which we have developed. So I'll come up with the first one is this. So this is like finger one, which you can hold in one of the finger, that is thumb finger, and this is for the smaller finger, index finger, and you can use this, which will get attached. Preferably, we want you to use in the left hand, so that whenever you go, you want to touch something, you can use this, or you want to lift operations and things like that, you can use this. So this is one technology which we have developed using 3D printing. And this is another one, it's called elbow door opener. So the traditional way of bending and opening your door is really tough. So what we have come up is with the elbow opener, which can actually, you can attach this to your regular handle of your door, and then use your technology and your elbow to open this door using 3D printing technology we have printed. Just you have to put two screws. It's very easy to use, and especially there where there is opening and closing of door very common, hospitals and things like that. And we have come up with something known as handy. This is handy device. What is this handy device? Is you can just put your fingers like this, and you can see this. You have one small buttons kind of thing for lift operation. You want to lift something, maybe some covers when you go for shopping, you can use this. You want to push some door, you want to pull some doors, you have this kind of grooves where you can push and pull. And we also have this opener. If you have a sanitizer like this, you want to open it. So we have come up with a the technology is not yet printed, but we have come up where you can just press it and it comes, and then You can use your sanitizer without much of, people using the same sanitization machine. So all this kit we are printing it in our own lab in the MS College of Engineering. Thanks to IEEE for funding, where we want to disperse this for people who want to actually use this, especially in urban slums where it is really tough for them to maintain the social distance. So we are given some kits like we will try to give some kits like this where we can have all this, easily help them in using their techniques, and we'll help them to use this technology to, talk, get some groceries, open the doors, open something, or carry something. And this can be easily sanitized. Just put it in soap water for whenever you're not using it, and take out and start using it. So this is in collaboration with IEEE VMSCE IEEE site, which we are hosting, and also most importantly is from we have got an NGO partner, Bharatika Culture, who have helped out because they are in touch with the community. So thanks IEEE and JC for funding. So with this, I would like to thank all of you for listening to this talk very patiently. And if you want to know more about site, go to site.ieee.org or follow on Facebook, follow our IEEE Bangalore section on Facebook. And I have my own YouTube channel also. All my videos, whichever lectures I give, I record them and put it on my YouTube channel so that maximum people get their benefited. And I do a lot of engineering teaching, non-engineering teaching, how you can do it in pandemic times, what are the free courses you get, what are the tools which you can use for research and teaching, and so on. So with this, thanks a lot for the opportunity, and I would finally say join IEEE site. So thank you, and over to the host.